Back here on Titans Talk on a victory Monday for the Tennessee Titans. Victors 21-17 over the Washington Commanders yesterday at FedEx Field outside of D.C. David Long, the hero, with that huge interception as the Titans make a goal line stand, which is beginning to be a bit of a trend for this defense. It's coming up with the reputation of coming up big in the biggest moments. A couple years ago, they had the goal line stand against the Chargers at the end of the game. Last year, of course, it was the goal line stand against the Bills on Monday Night Football. Back in 2020, during the playoff run, they had a goal line stand at the end of the first half against the Patriots. They had one against Jacksonville. There have been some goal line stands, some in some critical moments for this team, but yesterday was a big one. David Long making that interception as the Titans win their third straight game to get above 500 for the first time this year. And, of course, on the local power companies of Middle Tennessee, Sunday Sports Central, John Burton, former Titan great Keith Bullock, and our buddy Jonathan Hutton of Outkick 360 broke it down with their instant reaction to the Titans win in D.C.
All right, fellas, for a second straight week, the Titans find a way to win on the road. KB, this wasn't pretty, but it's a win, and they all count.
Yeah, they all count, and the Titans needed this one. I think at this point, we're starting to see that the Titans, they're not going to blow teams out, but they're very happy with a slugfest. And at the end of the day, as long as they don't make more mistakes than the other team and make more plays than the other team and come out with a win, that's all you can ask for, especially going into the bye week when you can correct those things and get some guys back in that can help you win more games in maybe a better fashion.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jay Hutt. The Titans now 3-2 after that 0-2 start. There's some tough games coming up, but now they're over the 500 mark. In your mind, is this team back to the level with which we saw them play at last year?
Well, they're back to winning, and we saw them win like this a year ago in the regular season. Like it or not, KB mentioned this. This is the style we're going to get from the Titans. It's not flashy. It's not pretty by any means, but they're winning games as they attempt to figure out their issues. There are plenty of problems. They stand on the edge of a cliff on a weekly basis. But like last year, they're stacking wins as they do that. And they don't need to apologize for that in October. They're a field goal away from being 4-1. And they enter the bye week right now on top of the AFC South.
Well, we're just scratching the surface as we dissect and break down this Titans win. More with these blokes.
Such a fine line in the NFL. Hutton brings up the point there that Randy Bullock missed a 48-yard field goal as time expired in Week 1, or the Titans beat the Giants and are 4-1. Or you get a stop on the two-point conversion play with Saquon Barkley down there at the goal line, and the Titans are 4-1. Of course, on the flip side of that, if the Raiders get their two-point conversion play in Week 3, that game goes to overtime with not much momentum on the Tennessee sideline. Or in Indianapolis, a couple plays go differently. Maybe that outcome looks different. Certainly yesterday in D.C., it could have been a very different story there in the final seconds down in that end zone at FedEx Field. But once again, the Titans make a play. They're 3-1 in those one-score games this season as well. And now 3-2 overall and on top of the AFC. It was a huge goal line stand as this defense continues to come up with those big plays in the critical moments for this team. Essentially, they have salted away the wins the last 3 weeks in different ways. Two-point conversion, a turnover on downs late in that game in Indianapolis. Yesterday, it was the David Long interception to get it done against the Commanders. The defense keeps finding a way to help the Titans find a way and get above 500. Here was my report from FedEx Field after the game. Clinging to a 4-point lead in the closing seconds Sunday, and with the Commanders just 2 yards away from the potential game-winning score, the Titans defense had its backs against its own goal line here at FedEx Field and stood tall, forcing 2 incompletions before David Long's diving interception sealed a hard-fought road win.
We got to that point, I'm smiling at him like, this is what we built for. This is what you dream of. Don't panic. Somebody make a play, and we walk off the field. It just ended up being me.
It's something that we've been trying to work on, and the vision and the break, and we need more ball production, more ball disruption. That's something that we're going to have on defense, and this was a good place to start, was, with the game on the line.
It's the latest goal line stand for a defense that's developing a reputation for coming up big in the biggest moments.
That's what we work for every day, man. We work on it every day, trying to stop the ball. That's just our job. I'm ready for it to be in our hands.
I feel like at least once or twice a year we get one of those epic wins, right? If it's last year in Buffalo, a couple years ago, Los Angeles game, just the experience of understanding that we've been in these games so many times. Hey, they make a couple plays, but so what? We're going to keep fighting, and that's what we did today.
The defense was in position to shut the door thanks to the offense's first second-half score since Week 1. Ryan Tannehill's 62-yard bomb to Nick Westbrook-Akina set up Derrick Henry's second touchdown and gave the Titans the lead for good.
That was a huge play. Great play by Nick. Saw his one-on-one down the field. Safety had good leverage to take away the post, but I knew it was one-on-one, so it was basically just a trust throw, giving my guy a chance to go up and make a play on the football. And Nick made a great adjustment to the football and made the play for us.
After starting the season 0-2, the Titans have now won 3 straight and sit all alone atop the AFC South entering their bye.
We hit adversity, obviously, early in the year going 0-2, but 3 straight wins, man. Regardless of how they come, it's always great to win this league because it's going to be hard.
We believe in each other. We're going to keep battling and find a way to win. I think that's what has been proven the last few weeks.
They don't have to be pretty in this league because everybody's just looking at a win or loss in the column when you get down to January. So just keep stacking them.
After that blowout loss in Buffalo in Week 2, the Titans held a players-only team meeting led by stars Kevin Byard and Derrick Henry. The message was do not panic, but we've got to turn it around now. After a 3rd straight win Sunday, Byard said he couldn't have written it up any better. So I guess it worked.
Jonathan Hunt rejoins us as we break down his keys to today's game. Jay Hunt, this defense gave up a couple of big plays today, but when it counted, they got after Carson Wentz, and they came up with the big goal line stand at the end of the game.
Yeah, they did well. I mean, the Washington offense nearly did just enough, but the Titans defense didn't allow that to happen. The Commanders popped 5 explosive plays, 196 yards on those 5. The other 53 plays combined for just 189. The Titans bent, they didn't break, and bottom line, they only allowed 17 points. Same as last week in Indy, and they allowed just 22 points to Vegas. They're finding critical stops, none bigger than David Logg's interception to save the game.
Yeah, great play. Meanwhile, the offense was not exactly great today. Derrick Henry got his, but this unit has been incredibly efficient in the red zone. They were 3 for 3 today. They're 12 for 13 on the season.
Every point matters for this offense right now. They're great in the red zone, and they're bad in other areas. Those 3 touchdown drives totaled 208 yards. The other 11 possessions, just 33 yards. 5 times this season, a team won in a game totaling less than 250 yards on offense. The Titans are the only team to do it twice, and both times those came on the road.
Ryan Tannehill, meanwhile, just 181 yards passing, but he did make the crucial mistake, and overall the Titans' passing game was pretty creative today.
Yeah, and I'm the first to give Todd Downing grief after a game, but he's done a nice job in this area, finding production with the running backs. Dontrell Hilliard, he leads the team with 3 touchdown receptions. He's the 2nd leading receiver. Henry's also heavily involved in the pass game. We know the passing game is ugly. Burks is on IR. Phillips is banged up. The tight ends are mostly invisible. But the running backs have moved the chains and put points on the board, and I credit Todd Downing for dialing up those plays.
A little credit for Todd Downing. That's
How about
good.
that?
It'll be a much more enjoyable bye week for the Titans players and probably for Mike Vrabel, Todd Downing, and the rest of the coaching staff after a win.
Yeah, things have gotten better for the Titans when Todd Downing's getting a little bit of credit after some of these games, and he deserves it. Over the last 3 weeks, the Titans offense has been better. Typically great in the first half, not as good in the second half, but certainly in the red zone. They've been fantastic all season long, and that is a big reason why the Titans have been able to win those 3 consecutive games. Some other things to look at a little bit more in depth now. Back to the show from last night. Over to the smart screen for Bullock's breakdown as Keith Bullock, Mr. Monday Night, takes a look at some of the key plays from Week 5.
Over here at the smart screen with Keith Bullock. And Bully, there weren't a lot of big plays in this game, but when it counted, the Titans were able to deliver on both offense and defense.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And at this point in the game was a big play for the offense. After they came out of halftime sputtering, Ryan Tannehill, known to step up when he needs to, and does something we don't see often from the Titans. Takes a shot downfield. He notices the one-on-one matchup, and he gave Nick Westbrook-Akina an opportunity to make a play. That might not have been the scheduled play, but he put it up there for them to make a play, and it turned out to be huge at a critical time. And this is the play of the game. David Long Jr. bumps the wide receiver off of his route, works through the window, and makes the interception. And that's big to me because if he didn't play that physically, he would have got picked by number 17, McLaurin, and he wouldn't have been able to get to the running back who was running that angle route for the interception. You know, Johnny on the spot, and that's what the Titans needed. So like you said, they gave up some, but they made the right plays when it counted the most.
No question about it. Meanwhile, not to dwell on the negative here, but this Washington offense did come in ranked last in pretty much every major offensive category. The Titans defense did give up some big X plays, something that they can work on during the bye, right?
Yeah, that's what the bye is all for. You got enough tape right now, and you know your weaknesses and your strengths, and you get after them. And, you know, the big play, especially in the pass game, is one of the Titans' defensive weakness. Every single game this year, they've given up a big play, and a lot of it has to do with knowing your assignment and just winning one-on-one matchups. I think this is more assignment because it looks like a zone, and from the looks of it, Caleb Farley is supposed to be in the deep third, and he lets the wide receiver take up his cushion and run by him. This one is just the thing of, look, they get paid too. This is a great one-handed catch. McCreary's in perfect position. That being said, not at all. But Carson Wentz noticed the one-on-one matchup, and that's what's being exploited in the Titans secondary. They got to get that fixed. Guys got to get confidence, winning one-on-ones, and know where they have to do in zones as well.
Plenty for the Titans to work on during the bye week, but it's a lot easier when you're 3-2.